Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, featuring Commissioner Christine King, where all voices are heard.
Welcome to another episode of the Kingdom Podcast. I am your host, Chairwoman Christine King of the City of Miami Commission, and I am also Commissioner for District 5. We are here today at the Children's Village, a subsidiary of the Lotus House. It is a beautiful space that will provide programs and services for the families who are living at the Lotus House. My guest today is Constance Collins, and the Lotus House is her dream come true. She is the wind beneath the wings of this movement to provide a safe space for women who were abused or in domestic violence situations, not good situations, and the Lotus House provides a safe space for them, a comprehensive safe space, and I'm one of its biggest supporters, and I'm happy to have you as a guest on the Kingdom Podcast. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and welcome to the Children's Village at Lotus Village.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really...
What's the significance of it? Why did you choose the lotus flower?
The pink lotus flower is the universal symbol of compassion.
It is beautiful. We are here. Usually we tape at the Historic Lyric Theater, where with this podcast, it's unique in that you could listen to it on all platforms and or you can watch it on our YouTube channel. Being here, overlooking the skyline of Miami and Overtown, I see this beautiful mural of Muhammad Ali behind us. How does it feel to have realized this aspect of what is the Lotus House, the Children's Village? And can you explain to our listeners and viewers what this space entails?
The Children's Village is really a dream come true. And it was sparked during the pandemic when things here in our community just felt so low.
Right.
And our children, sheltered children at Lotus House were kind of cooped up in Lotus Village. And we realized that the play spaces that we had, that the educational spaces were just simply not adequate to serve their needs. And so we began to assemble parcels of land across the street with the idea initially to build a playground. And then as additional opportunities arose, we thought, why not expand that concept to create the Children's Village? And reached out to other Overtown-based nonprofits like Girl Power Rocks, like Urgent Inc., Overtown Optimist Club, and more, and asked if they would like to join us in creating a children's village where we would all work together, serving not only our sheltered children and families, but the children and families of our neighborhood here in Overtown.
That's what I love most about this space, that it is inclusive of other organizations providing services to our youth. I'm so excited about that. I think that in and of itself speaks to how you comprehensively look at serving. And for me, that is huge. That is huge.
There will be 12 other providers in addition to Lotus House and our children's therapeutic services. We will have United Way providing financial, budgeting, and supports for families. Miami Mindful Kids with meditation, yoga, and other kinds
I love that.
Yeah, other kinds of programming. Really for both the kids and our caretakers here in the Children's Village. The Children's Bereavement Center, I already mentioned, Urgent Inc., Urgent Academy, We have Easter Seals opening a brand new preschool here for up to 80 children.
Oh, wow.
We have Care for You, a healthcare provider that will have a school nurse here throughout the week. We have Arts for Learning, Girl Power Rocks, Overtown Optimist Club, the Alliance for LGBTQ Youth. Our aim here is to provide a wraparound support system for children and families, not just to end homelessness, but to prevent it, because we know that investing in children and families strengthens their ability to endure the rough times
Yes.
that we all face
Yes.
from time to time, and provides that safety net that ensures that people are getting the benefits and the services and the educational programming, enrichment activities, all the many things that it takes to raise a child and create stability for families.
And break the cycle.
And break the cycle.
And break the cycle. That's the
Yes.
most important thing.
Yeah.
Breaks the cycle, and it gives our children hope. And they can see through this endeavor other children thriving who are not in shelter.
Right.
And I believe when you expose a child, their dreams can just take off. And that's what you allow in this space. You allow for dreams. For the moms, for the children, you allow for dreams. And when you have a dream, the sky is the limit.
Absolutely. I also think what the village does is build community. That by
Absolutely.
providers working together, children and families working with all different types of providers, community events and activities, we come together.
Yes.
We build community. You know, every month, Lotus House, since the pandemic, has been doing a grocery giveaway. And the lines have grown long because we are in difficult times.
Yeah.
At our last grocery giveaway, we had 700 people attend.
Wow.
And we provide health care services, back to school supplies. We make this a fun event that brings the community together. We have those kinds of events and many more planned for the Children's Village. I'd like to think of this as, of our children as being really the heart of our community.
Yes. And you know, as the chairwoman of the Southeast Overtown Park West CRA, shameless plug, we sponsor a lot of these organizations that provide services to our youth. And what I see now through our sponsorship and the Children's Village is there's no competition,
Right.
right? We work together. There's no grabbing and pulling. I want your support, or I'm only supporting this organization and not that organization, because we try to support all of the organizations. And even though there were efforts to restrict how we are able to spend the money with the CRA, our CRA has done an excellent job of trying to find non-TIF dollars so that we can fund organizations that provide services for our youth. And I see that they all have a magnificent relationship. They're not clamoring to get on top of each other, and then being able to share the same space for their offices, for their programs, is amazing. It is a model. It is a model for the country, what we are doing. I believe the city of Miami really addresses our homeless issue with compassion throughout the city of Miami. And, you know, I'm proud to lead that charge in our commission, because I find that our commission is very empathetic to what's going on And if we do not address our homeless issue, it will just grow and grow like we see in other communities throughout the United States. You can't turn a blind eye to it. You can't pretend it doesn't exist. And it hurts everyone. When you ignore our houseless population, it hurts our businesses, it hurts tourism, and it hurts them as well, because they find themselves in a tenuous situation. Without help, they can't get out. But there are so many people, because of your assistance, they're able to pull themselves out and maintain. I have so many stories of women who were Lotus House residents who are now, living the dream. I just beat one of your residents in Domino's at Father Barry Apartments, and she's like, I can't believe the commissioner is beating me in Domino's. And she happened to tell me her story. I beat the whole table, right? I was the winner. But just that she could share her story with me, and she was so proud. You give that second chance to people. And I've said it before, it is literally God's work. Literally God's work.
Since Lotus House opened its doors in the humblest of buildings many years ago, now 19 years ago, we have sheltered over 13,500 women and children.
Wow.
And over 400, I think at last count, 499 newborns will someday call Lotus House their first home.
Oh, wow.
We know that investing in children and families saves lives and changes lives. And we have the most amazing team at Lotus House. Over almost 40% of our team are alumni of the program.
I know.
And they operate the shelter. They are in every department at all levels, from entry to directors. And I think that's what makes our program so special. Our women who have come through the shelter really reaching a hand out to others who are just entering and pulling them forward and helping to lift them up. And I think our role, my role, is to provide as many resources and supports to reach out to our community and to bring in the village.
Yes.
The larger village.
Yes.
In support of those in need.
And you are doing that. And I don't know if you sing your praises enough, because with the Lotus House, it's a healthy space too. Mm-hmm. I remember visiting the hydroponic garden, thinking, wow. And the children get to go in there and plant and maintain the garden. So you're teaching them about vegetables and eating healthy, because you go from the garden to the table, right? And the yoga, the salon, because that's important too, right? Yeah. Your appearance, the salon, the therapy services, Head Start programs. What else did I see when I toured there? And I was just so impressed. And now to bring it across the street, to have therapeutic services, medical services, a nurse all the time, is you have children, they get sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have children, they get sick. There's a runny nose, there's a fever, and being able to right here access these services is a game changer. Like I said, your operation is a model for the country, is a model for the United States and abroad. And the work that you're doing, also the work that Judge Leifman is doing, is trend-setting. It really is. And I'm so proud to support your efforts. When do you think you will get this show on the road?
I hope any day now. I know that anytime you build a project of this magnitude, there are challenges to be worked through. But we're hoping in a day or two that we will have our TCO and open our doors. And as you can see, we've already gotten permission to put our furnishings in. As we go downstairs.
And this is a very comfortable chair.
Oh, thank
by
you.
the way.
As we go downstairs, you'll see that our preschool is ready for its DCF inspection. We're probably chomping at the bit right now, and so excited for the upcoming opening. Again, just another way to build community and to invest in children and families. They are the future.
They are. They really are. They really are. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
Okay.
It's I do it every podcast just to get a feel for our listeners and viewers can get a feel for you. What's your favorite book? And it could be your favorite book today.
Yeah, my favorite book is a book called A Path with Heart.
Okay.
And it's just a beautiful book about our spiritual journey in life. And,
A Path
with Heart.
With Heart. A Path with Heart. Okay, I have to check that out. Do you have a favorite song?
I have so many. Every time I hear a song, it's becoming my favorite song. So
Really?
there isn't one, but Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Dreams really do come true.
Yes. Yes, we had a beautiful rainbow here yesterday, and that is a beautiful song. That is a beautiful song. What do you do for fun? What do you do when you're not here? When you are, you can take time for yourself?
I would tell you that this is my fun.
Okay.
Lotus House, the Children's Village, the work that we do, they're all labors of love for me.
What actually inspired you to create the Lotus House? What were you doing prior to, and what inspired you to say, hey, I think we need this. I want to do this.
Yeah. I used to be in commercial real estate, investment and finance.
Okay.
And I had a good run at it. And I was building a building in Coral Gables, actually, and encountered a woman living on the street. She was bathing in the fountain of the building that we were building, and she was experiencing homelessness. I began to bring her a coffee, sit and chat with her, try to understand her circumstances, and then reached out to try to find resources for her. And what I learned was there wasn't a shelter for women, that she was afraid to enter a shelter that was gender neutral because she felt she might be a target, a victim, her money stolen or worse. And as I started researching, I realized that it was almost impossible to go from the street to housing. That supportive services were needed, mental health concerns had to be addressed, restoring someone's spirit and giving them a safe place to heal was paramount. And so I began to look for a building and found something here in Overtown and saw so many women in that time, this is 20 years ago now,
Wow.
who were living on the street, along the railway, in abandoned buildings, in vacant lots, and realized that this needed to be a safe place for them, a pathway out of really the terror of living on the street for women.
It is a terror.
And we know that violence is the lead cause of homelessness for women and their children. It's also a normative experience for women who live on the street. And so Lotus House was born from those efforts.
20 years ago?
Yeah, 20 years ago I formed the foundation, found the building, renovated it, and we opened on March 1st of 2006. I still remember that day.
Oh, that's a good month. That's my birth month, so it's good energy.
Yes.
Good energy for
sure.
that. And look where we are 20 years later. I don't know if you were dreaming this big 20 years ago. Wow.
I had no, sometimes people ask me, what was your vision? I didn't have a vision. I just was one day at a time. Let me show up and see what needs to be done that day. And then the community started stepping forward. And really a shout out to our entire community. We have over 3,000 volunteers a year in Lotus House. And the Homeless Trust, the Children's Trust, the City of Miami, the county, foundations and individual
celebrities,
yes, have all really stepped forward to say, we care about those in need in our community. I will tell you, I also serve as the president of the National Women's Shelter Network. And so I travel all over the country visiting with shelter leaders and seeing women's and family shelters around the nation. Miami is a model. And Lotus House is the largest women's homeless shelter in the nation, and it is a model on a national level. And there is no place like the Children's Village.
Yet.
No place yet.
Prayerfully, it is the model, and other cities will see the sense of having this, the need, the necessity, and that's my prayer. Because I feel like maybe the entire country today is not focused on that. Is not focused on social services and providing for our families. Even in situations with housing, it takes deep subsidies to provide housing for lower income families because it's not profitable.
Right.
But in instances where we're providing services for families, profit should not be the deciding factor. And that's why I'm happy to support. That's what the funding the CRA provides is for. It's not to make anybody rich, it's to help the developers meet this goal of providing services. It's investing in our families, not in buildings. We're investing in our families. And I don't think that everyone gets that. Because if we did, our families would be so much better off.
Agreed. We don't like the consequences of not investing in families. We don't want to see people living on the street or starving in our community, and yet they are in our community. And I think any city, when it looks at itself, is measured not by how many high-rise luxury buildings we have, but how those with the least live.
Exactly.
How do we care and support them?
Exactly.
And how do we lift up our entire community? And I think it is by investing in children and families, women, anyone who is struggling, so that we can all enjoy a quality of life and we can benefit from the fruit of their potential.
Exactly. Because someone has the potential that was a resident at Lotus House. One of those children have the potential to be me one day.
Absolutely.
They have the potential. Their potential is limitless.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to allow them to have the potential by providing spaces like the Children's Village. Now, I got sidetracked on my questions. I asked you about your favorite book. I asked you about your favorite song. If you could have dinner with anyone, who would you want to break bread with that you haven't had dinner with before?
Oh my goodness, so many people that I haven't. So I'm going to reach back and say Mahatma Gandhi would be the one I would choose.
That was a good one. That would be a good one. I would like to have dinner with him as well. I certainly would. Now, you said this is your space, this is what you enjoy, but do you have any other hobbies?
Gracious. I find that the work here is kind of all-consuming. But I love getting out in nature.
Okay.
I love taking a walk in the woods or along the ocean. All those things are just beautiful, peaceful ways to enjoy this extraordinary world we live in.
It is. I do that almost every day. I walk or run. I find that it's meditative. And movement is important. Getting out and just being outside and letting the sun hit your face. Just being outside and letting the sun hit your face is fantastic. I want to thank you, because we're coming to the end of the show. I really want to thank you for all the work that you do. I know you don't do it for praise. You don't do it for thank yous. But thank you, because what you are doing is changing the lives, the trajectory of the lives of children and families, and really making a difference. And when you do God's work, He somehow manages to move the obstacles. He moves those obstacles so that you can have a space like this, so that we could look out and say, wow. So thank you again. This is another episode of the Kingdom Podcast. Thank you, Miss Constance.
Thank you
for being my
so
guest.
much.
And I look forward to the ribbon cutting and the day that this space is completely filled with life and love. Good energy for you.
Thank you.